All right, drop it in.
Here we go, on to game one. MrSloth91 versus Kotileijonat.
Heavyweight with shotgun. I believe that's a rifle. I see a pulse gun and a triple shot.
Yep.
Oh, that hot pink tank.
And then Kotile with a heavy reverse joint. With
Now
similar-
20% pinker.
All right, here we go. All right, both players advancing forward, meeting up at the, I guess, oil tower you would call it.
Yeah, I don't know what this thing's called.
I'm guessing it's an oil tower because it's at a naval port. But both players are now just currently duking it out.
Slugfest. Is that a Gurren Lagann or Gurren Lagann emblem? I
Yes,
can't
it
word
is.
today.
It is
That's
Yoko
awesome.
Littner.
That's awesome.
All right. Mr. Sloth is focusing on using a glide boost heavy style with the flame legs.
Mr.
And-
Sloth? I thought this was Andrew.
No. The person you're viewing?
Yeah.
No,
I've got the wrong name on the left side? Oh.
Yeah, Kotile.
I went off the bracket then. Whoops. You're right. I totally screwed that up.
It's all right. And back to
We'll
the match.
correct immediately.
Both these players just duking it out. Kotile staying on the low while Mr.
There
Sloth
you go.
is staying high with his glide boost rushes, trying to get in every little bit of damage that he can. Kotile just trying to find a way to get in close and use that plasma gun to do some heavy damage. One of the downsides of using a flame class leg is that it is very slow. So if he can get close and he can get in for a long period of time, he's going to start doing some heavy damage.
He is losing the damage race pretty severely at this point, though.
Yep.
So as you say, he does need to find a way to create a window in which he can put that to good use and try and make this a closer match.
Currently speaking, he's just not able to.
No, not finding the opening, not able to create one that he's looking for, unfortunately. So we're going to see Sloth just on top of everything on this match in terms of life totals.
And like we kind of saw in the match between Disso and Helamasa, staying on the top of this building is very important to achieving an advantage over your opponent. As you can kind of see, by being on top, Mr. Sloth could prevent Kotile from using cover effectively. He had to keep moving in order to avoid getting hit.
I'm surprised Kotile hasn't tried to press more of an aerial advantage, given that he's got reverse joint legs, with some fairly good jumping ability.
Yeah, definitely.
If they were to jump from even the highest point over in this area, he would definitely be able to achieve an advantage, I would imagine.
Yeah,
But
just like right there.
Right. But still just 10,000 point life total lead in favor of Sloth, although it was closer just a little bit earlier, but right now Sloth just kind of running away with it. Down to about 5,500 points of life left for Kotile. Circling, trying to use the building for cover, popping out, see if he can get a couple shots in, but he is totally exposed at this point, and it's really not helping his cause. Down below 3,000.
If he can get just one moment to outmaneuver him, he may be able to bring this back. He has
It's very close. Sloth, around 8K right now. This could be the moment right there. He's pulling him back in. 4,000 points on the board for Sloth. Can Kotile do it?
It is exactly even now. 3177 AP on both sides.
I've got 2,500 over here. Oh, man, wow. There it is.
There it is. All it took was just one moment for Kotile to take advantage of his upper mobility. And, he took it. His shotgun battle rifle, in addition with the subcomputer, just gave him that advantage.
Great job by Kotile there. Really close game, though, man. He was on the back foot that entire time. But great job. Great job pulling that one back into his favor.
All right, and we are into game number 2. MrSloth91 switching it up to a midweight now.
Very nice. We've got a quad over here on the side of Kotile. 45,000 AP to start out with.
Oh, so quite a bulky beast.
Yep, with a triple shot BR. Looks like a 12-shot Sawa. In the hangar bay, we've got I believe that's a KE shield.
That is indeed a KE shield.
And possibly a shotgun. Yep, shotgun in the left hand.
Yep. And
out comes the Sawa.
He's also got some VTF missiles as well.
Seems like a very dangerous build all around.
Yep, MrSloth is going to have to think very carefully about approaching. His weapons can do quite a bit of damage, but because they drain, and also because of just how much bulk that Crow has, he's not going to be able to do that damage for long periods of time. So he needs to focus on getting in and getting out.
One thing he needs to maybe possibly consider trying to exploit is the very low turning ability of this quad AC, though.
Definitely.
That being said, Kotileijonat has plenty of buildings to try and kick off of to try and keep his opponent in his sights. He's doing a good job of it right now. Oh, man, just a lot of shots coming in. Downrange for MrSloth. Getting behind MrSloth. Lots of shots connecting out of Kotileijonat. Kotileijonat only absorbing about 3,000 points of damage right now, too. Just sponging it up like it's nothing.
Yep. Also, that shield is making it hard for him to get that damage in because, as you can see from my side, he is trying to use a shotgun to hurt him, as well as a triple BR, but it's not really working to his favor.
That being said, the KE shield is put away currently on the side of Kotileijonat, and he just took about 10,000 points of damage, so Sloth able to get his punches in for sure. Ducking behind the building before that VTF volley connected. Great piloting right there, but he's starting to run out of life total to play with as far as a resource.
Definitely. I think MrSloth needs to focus on using that pulse rifle over that triple BR because it's not very effective overall.
He just did an excellent dodge of escaping the fire from Kotileijonat, though. Another VTF volley just finding the side of that building instead of its intended mark. So we now have Kotileijonat down below 30k. But out comes the KE shield. Oh, man, I had those VTFs connecting as well on Sloth, as well as that barrage out of the triple BR, I believe. Or at least the shotgun.
Yep, and one of the dangers of being a midweight is that shotguns and high-impact weapons in general are going to stun you a fair bit. So he needs to keep note of that as he's going in, because there have been a few occasions where he goes in a little bit too hard and he gets stunned.
Man, they both popped up over the top of that building simultaneously and exchanged blows, but it definitely felt like Kotileijonat, came out on top of that exchange. Yep. Shield coming back out on a Kotileijonat side. It's only got about 1,300 points of AP left, though. Both players. Oh, here we go. Here comes the exchanges. Kotileijonat just absolutely punishing Sloth for coming in right there. That was absolutely brutal. Massive, massive damage. Sloth, things really not looking good for him.
Only 2,000 left.
Oh, and he does not see Kotileijonat behind him. That's going to be it. Kotileijonat extending his lead to 2 games over Sloth 0. Sloth coming off the building, facing the wrong direction, completely caught unaware is not a great situation, especially when your opponent can dish out so much damage at that range.
And that's kind of similar to what happened last game, although the situation was reversed, where MrSloth was initially in the advantage. Kotileijonat in this instance was completely in the advantage, and that one final time is what killed him.
Yeah. Take a look at some of these ACs before you go on. Are the players selecting their next map?
All right, let's see. right. And Mr. Sloth has opted to bring his heavyweight into play. Whereas Crow has decided to go on the opposite end of the spectrum and bring his heat cannon lightweight.
Nice. We saw this one put in a lot of work earlier against Andriy.
Yep, and as we saw before, it is capable of doing huge amounts of damage in a very short period of time.
While being on a very mobile platform, my kind of AC.
Indeed. So it's going to be a question of, can Mr. Sloth keep him in his sight long enough to kill him, or will Crow be able to outmaneuver him and simply deal the devastating final blow?
First blood's about to be drawn.
Oh, and he manages to catch his swerve out and do quite a bit of damage, although it's hard to see who has the advantage at this point.
I don't think either player has the advantage currently.
A lot of damage being dished out by both sides. I think they're approximately equal in AP.
They basically are. About 400 points separate the two of them. In comes Crow, not able to connect, but ate just a tiny bit of damage from Sloth's end of things there. Crow trying to use this broken bridge for cover as Sloth is pushing in. As we've seen Sloth play, just up in people's faces all day so far today. But oh man, Crow's got the back of Sloth right now, and he is raining in some heat fire. I think only about 2 of those volleys connected, but they did so much damage when they did.
And this is where Mr. Sloth needs to be careful, because his AC is not designed for direct out confrontations with Crow's AC. So he can't go about wasting his energy carelessly, or otherwise he's going to be caught with his enemy being able to take his back with him not being able to do anything.
And that's exactly what's happening right now. He's able to sort of square up again, though, and land a shot as well, but that's not going to be enough. Crow, 3-0 victory here in the top 8. Great job. I mean, you just saw him get, in the blind spots of Sloth so many times that game.
Yeah, the speed was just way too much for his AC to handle, and he overextended himself one too many times, and it simply meant it was game over.
Yep. So congratulations to Crow. He will be advancing here in the top 8. But Sloth, great games, sir. I loved how, Sloth was not afraid to play up in people's faces when he needed to.
Yep.
Today.
A very aggressive style of play, especially considering how, a lot of his other opponents at times had very equal, if not stronger builds in terms of defense.
Mm-hmm.